Once again, thank you for joining us this live broadcast. The SMS line is 21144, GBS TV Africa in all our social media handles. And tonight we'll be taking a look at No Handshake, Ruto proclaims. That is our topic tonight. Keep the SMSs coming in. Tell us your thoughts on the same. And to have this conversation, I'm joined by Chief Executive Officer PSG, Honorable Esther Waringa, and Julius Umoja, who is a political commentator as well. And of course, keep the SMSs coming in. The SMS line is 21144. Tell us what are your thoughts on the same. And now, just to kickstart with our conversation tonight, good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Good evening to you.
Hello.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much for taking time out of your busy schedule to come and join me here tonight. And of course, I do remember, Honorable Esther, we did have a conversation yesterday, and I'm really happy to move forward with yet another conversation. And now, the bipartisan approach. People may have misinterpreted this as a handshake, but the president today in Rwanda affirmed there is no handshake. What do you read of this statement?
Okay, thank you. I think the country, the Republic of Kenya, is headed for interesting times ahead. However, those who are in governance like we must keep on employing our strategies to be able to bring the country together, because I think slowly we are losing the meaning of good governance. And I must say that we must come together as a nation. Even before I go to the approach of bipartisan or non-bipartisan, first of all, let us remember that Kenya is a great country beyond any individual in this country. Therefore, any action or any intervention that is to be undertaken in this process, through whether it is the bipartisan approach or any other way, we must know that Kenya and the people of Kenya remains sovereign in this country. Anything that is to be done must be done in the best interest of the people of Kenya, must be done in the best interest of that particular Wanjipo who voted these people into the positions that they are. Therefore, His Excellency the President alluded, although I was a little bit hesitant to say that maybe this must be our own in-house debate. It should not go beyond the boundaries of Kenya. And that's my take, that first of all, let us handle it from our own internal systems here before we take it to the international conferences or other platforms out of the country. Therefore, for me, it is that as he has proposed a bipartisan approach, that's fine. But what result are we expecting from this bipartisan committee of parliament? Is it about government or is it about Wanjiku? Therefore, those people who are coming on board to be able to undertake this particular very important process must be able to know that the bottom line, whatever results are coming out of that particular team must be for the best interest of the people of Kenya, but not to serve other avenues. Therefore, what we are calling upon tonight is that because the president has said that he's going to subject this to a bipartisan entity in parliament, then can we handle it in the best way possible to be able to benefit the people of Kenya, to be able to benefit the taxpayer, to be able to benefit that voter who woke up at 3 to go to elections. And that's why, to a great extent, my dear sister, we are saying, are we going to another national accord and reconciliation like in the year 2008? What is really happening in our country? And that is why we are saying, as our country, are we wasting so much time on electoral processes? Are we wasting so much money? Because whether bipartisan or not, if we have to have this bipartisan committee, it will still spend taxpayers' money. As we talk right now, money is lost already for the last 2 weeks. Even right now, as they said to the committee, there will be allowances. We are continuing to waste money that should be injected into the economy to be able to reduce the cost of unga, to reduce the cost of fuel, to reduce the cost of sugar, cooking oil, and cooking gas. And that is why, actually, as public service governance, we have already subjected a bill to the bicameral parliament, affordable kitchen bill for all women, because we want to simplify things. We want to address things from a very non-political perspective. So I'm afraid that the bipartisan approach may go political way, but I wish them all the best and tell them that this is not political. And we are watching Kenyans. For the two kingpins, we are waiting. We are opening our eyes to see the resolutions that are coming out of parliament. And to those that are coming into the bipartisan team, tafadhali, Kenyans are listening to you. Kenyans are watching. Wanjiko is listening. Are you doing it in their best interest or for your own political interest? I think it's a high time we think out of the political box if we have to get the right solutions to propel this nation forward.
Now, in a counter of the same of the president's statements, we did see the opposition leader say that he's not interested in shaking hands in this grandstanding. Where do we go from here, just based on your observation?
Come on, I think we should cool down. We should relax. We should not get so much, like irritated as leaders. I like it when leaders embrace that culture of peace when addressing things, that culture of integrity when addressing things, that culture of positivity, other than, just dumping that this will not happen. There's so much hatred in this two groups. Yeah, there's so much hatred. And I request that the two leaders, you must know that you are serving the people of Kenya. And actually, we are not interested with this so much hatred between the two. That one will stand and say this, my stand is this, and this is it. The other one will stand and say the same. No, this is not what we are looking for. Please, we request them to relax and address these things from a very relaxed perspective, from an informed position, and from a constitutional way of doing things. Because if we are so emotional, then we are going to get results that are negative and are emotional as so. But if we address it from a very sober perspective, from a very informed perspective, even about our constitutional processes, then I'm sure that we are going to go the right direction. So we request that the two leaders, I know they have talked today, but the way they have talked is that they are still not very comfortable with each other. And we don't have another country, tafadhali. We don't have another nation to run to. We saw what happened 2007 to 2008 until the National Accord, Kofi Annan came on board. Do we want to go that way again? Do we want to go the ICC way again? We must run from the lessons that we have learned before. And whatever we did for us to go to ICC as a country must not happen this time round. Therefore, two leaders, Your Excellency Ruto, relax, cool down. Your Excellency, Right Honorable Raila, relax, cool down. You are brothers. You have been friends before. Can you address it from the most integral perspective this time round? Away from anger, away from emotions, away from hatred. And from that perspective, then we are going to have it all. Otherwise, we will continue taking hard stances and proclaiming this in international forums. It won't augur well with the Republic of Kenya. And humility means everything. Let us humble ourselves as leaders. I think we were too humble to Kenyans when we were doing the campaign. We used to humble ourselves to the lowest possible levels. We used even to eat mahindi, maize with them. We used to eat oranges with these people of Kenya. But now we are high there, as two leaders. And please, let us cool down. Let us address these things with the soberness that it requires. Otherwise, emotions may not give us solutions that we need.
I don't know if you took a look at what the opposition leader did say earlier today in his statement. He said that Kenyan problems must be solved by Kenyan leaders. And maybe that is backing to the conversation that the president did take the state's problems and did go talk about them in Rwanda. What do you think? Is the president trying to look for international help, or should he even be looking for international help, or should be Kenyan leaders solve their own problems?
Thank you very much. I think when, as a family, you have issues within your family in-house. First of all, the most important thing, don't take that particular issue or disagreement out of the door. Before you take it out of the door, try to seek in-house solutions. Before you take it to the public, and everybody out there around the world and in the community knows that you are You are not in terms with each other. So, as His Excellency Raila Amolo Odinga said, can we first of all seek in-house solutions? Can we first of all debate this within us? Can we first of all exhaust all available avenues of solutions within the Republic of Kenya before we go and make it to be an international? That I don't think that was wise. It was not wise at all to take it in an international forum. Actually, if I was the president, I would try as much as possible to hide it or to keep it off, such that even when the international community comes in and asks, I'll tell them we are sorting it out. Other than taking it out there and making a very firm stand that no handshake on an international forum. That was not for the best interest of Wajiko, and tafadhali, let us not, I'm trying to get the statement that says, yeah, wash our dirty linen in public. Let us not wash our dirty linen in public. Let us first of all get our own in-house strategies and interventions for solutions locally. We are here to provide the solutions. And I believe that we can first of all get brains within the Republic of Kenya to give solutions before we even think of going to Uganda, Tanzania, Rwanda, and wherever else. Kenyans, we are bright. We are so blessed intellectually. Even before we go out there, I'm sure there are great brains in this country that can be able to give a very quick resolve to the current governance stalemate in the country. And yes, we can.
Thank you, Honorable Esther, for that detailed report as well. Now, before we even move forward, the opposition leader has made several demands. I don't know if the producer there is ready with a video there that we can be able to look at and listen in on what demands he had made before we even move forward. Whenever the video is ready, do make sure you can play it. One of the demands...
Yeah. Key issues that we face as a country, including the electoral injustice, the cost of living, the legitimacy of the IBC, the opening of the server for a forensic audit, the savage attacks on media and innocent civilians by the police, and the viability of our democracy, including buying off of members of parliament. We have said that members of parliament, once elected in political parties, must carry that mandate for the rest of the life of that parliament.
And now, just to go back to the conversation, Honorable Waringa, if you could see what he did talk about was the cost of living, the legitimacy of IBC, the opening of the servers, and we have the savage attacks on media, and of course the police, and the buying of members of parliament. And then now, the Azimio coalition leader raised more issues than what the president made suggestion to, because the president Ruto's suggestion was specific to the reconstitution of the IBC selection panel. But Raila talked on more issues. So what do you make of this partisan approach to address all issues? At the same time, the president has only spoken about one issue.
Yeah, I think it's high time that that the president gets to understand exactly what are the demands from His Excellency Raila Amolo Odinga and his team, because it's quite a detailed request, and the bipartisan committee of parliament has only been looking on the opening of the server or issues related to IBC. What about the cost of living? We would like to hear. What is the take of His Excellency President William Ruto about the cost of living? Because right now it is true and in reality that the cost of living is so high. So many families are sleeping hungry. What is the immediate action? Before even we go to intermediate, immediate action that His Excellency is going to do, because we don't want the Azimio again to go back to the streets. So we should be hearing from the executive, what are they going to do within the shortest time possible to ensure that the cost of living goes down? Because the buck stopped with him. The authority we gave him through voting him in, through the Constitution of Kenya. So we would like to hear exactly what immediate solution is he giving. And again, when we talk about the police, the media, it is exactly true that we saw attack on some of our journalists, and information is power. If this country is not informed by the media, we would be in darkness, even ourselves. But because of the power of the media, the transformative, progressive power of our media houses, we are able to know what is happening around the country. So these are people that must be protected by the state. They must be protected by the executive. However, he said in his speech, I think yesterday, on Sunday from State House, that he's going to ensure that the media is protected and no media house is going to be closed. I think that is one of the key strategic interventions, or maybe a response from the executive towards the media. However, legally, the media must be protected. And any attack on these media houses must be addressed equally rigorously. About of course, the IBC, the bicameral parliament is handling. But these other issues that Raila Amolo Odinga has talked about, what is your take, Your Excellency, President Ruto? All these others away from the issue of IBC that you have now appointed, you have now told us that it will be resolved through the bicameral parliament. This other issue, what are you going? So we expect the president maybe to come out very openly and tell us what is he going to do? Because anytime that you are looking for votes out there, you prove to Kenyans that you have capacity to give solution to every problem that the people of that particular country are going through. So we expect that you'll be hearing from the president about solutions on all the other issues that the opposition has raised. However, we continue to request the opposition to remain cool, please, because we need to protect our economy until these things are resolved. So we call for patience as well.
Thank you, Honorable Esther, and I'm told that Mr. Julius Umoja is able to join us. Good evening, gentlemen. Hope all is doing well. And of course,
good evening. I can hear you very well. Sorry, due to the technological challenges here and there, but I'm able to join you.
Now, we are very happy to have you, and of course, we do just want to engage you because we have had a conversation in Honorable Esther going on about the partisan approach and the way the people may have misinterpreted this as a handshake. But the president today in Rwanda affirmed that there is no handshake. What are your thoughts on this statement?
Now, what I can say specifically based on the statement that was issued by the president when he was in Rwanda, I think the literature review of this particular problem comes from the handshake that was held between the former president, or His Excellency Uhuru Kenyatta, and the former Prime Minister Raila Amolo Odinga. So he's saying that from what he saw or happened between or the consequences of that particular handshake, they perceive that it can ruin this government in terms of delivering the services as per what they are put in their manifesto. But I think this one here is due to self-interest. There are some people, maybe around His Excellency the President, that they think if handshake happens, then truly they will be out of the government. That is why they want to protect their political profile. Like they perceive that allowing Raila Amolo Odinga to meet with the president might throw them out in the political space, of which I think handshake is not the proper way of solving. If they have gone through the partisan way, it should only, or the partisan way as per what I see, it is only going to focus on some of the areas like the IBC, and the second one maybe the issue of the issue of the IBC, that is the major issue, and the 4 commissioners, the Cherera and the so on, that were Nyang'aya, Masit, that resigned from the position of being the IBC or commissioners. But the cost of living cannot be addressed by partisan, sorry. But instead, the cost of living is to be addressed by the executive, of which even the president himself is not responding to this. But we gave as a clue that maybe there's some food stuff that had been ordered from outside, maybe including maize, sorghum, millet, that are there. But that is a short-term initiative that the president took, of which we need a long-term, of which they are saying that the long-term maybe is giving out fertilizers to the farmers. But now what about the current issue that common mwananchi is going through? Common mwananchi down there is not busy with the IBC commissioners, is not busy with the electoral process, but is busy with what is affecting him or her directly, and that is the cost of living. So what I think is happening, the issue that were addressed by the Prime Minister, it is good that he came and recalled or some of the issues that he said that the cost of living must come down, or it has to be addressed as soon as yesterday. So I think I agree with him. But now on the partisan issue, let them sit down and agree on how well, or the context of the bipartisan issue. If it will not yield the fruit that the Azimio people are bringing on board, that let them take another route, because what they are raising will help us solve the
so much. And now maybe to Honorable
issue of the elections, not only in 2020 Kenya, but will come after them.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
And now going back to Honorable Esther, even if we go back, because the Azimio coalition did say failure to the government to listen to their demands and of course to come in agreement, we may go back to the mass action. Will this mass action address the issues of the Azimio coalition, the Azimio coalition talked about, or just moving forward, do we see a possible dialogue based on the state that we are in right now as a country?
Very well. I must say that going forward, it's not mandamano again, tafadhali. Going forward is dialogue. When human beings live together, they must learn how to dialogue. They must learn how to live with each other. They must learn how to forgive each other. And I think the dialogue must not necessarily be focused on maybe what they call nusumkate or half government. Not really, but the dialogue can be geared towards resolving one issue after another. And if I was His Excellency, the President Ruto, I would assign each and every item that the Azimio has requested action by the government, I would address it separately, because we have only seen one item about the IBC. So what about the others? Therefore, if this is not addressed maybe adequately, we would call even the former Prime Minister that why don't we, and His Excellency Dr. William Ruto, we engage in a progressive, productive dialogue that will be able to bring solutions on the table. I think when people sit together and they dialogue together, not looking it from a political perspective, but from a developmental perspective, then we are going to win. But if both parties have political interest pegged into this process, then they might not be willing to have that healthy dialogue. So first and foremost, the two forces, the Rutos and the Railas forces, must be able to keep aside their political ambitions, their political, they should be able to forget about how political, although I know it's very hard for them and I know it's a bit difficult because this country revolves around politics, but they should be able to keep aside their political differences right now when the country is suffering a very acute economic meltdown. And I cannot exit this show without saying that this is something that we have been repeatedly doing since 1992 until today. When are we going to stop it? When are we going to come to the end of this? We are saying, as public service governance, is it possible to completely do away with elections as a way of birthing leadership in the Republic of Kenya, so that we focus the country to a 24/7 development, a 24/7 economic growth, a 24/7 economic progress, social issues. Right now, we should be thinking about how CBC is working in our schools, but nobody is thinking about it. It is about bipartisan politics, is about, it is very, very wrong. And actually, can I remind Kenyans that first of all, even before we go to the bipartisan committee of parliament, during the Kivuitu's time at IBC, we said that the Kivuitu's commission did not perform. Kivuitu was sent home. Come Isaac Hassan. We said Isaac Hassan was not performing when the government that voted in was voted in during his time, as Isaac Hassan was sent home. Now again, We are saying Chebukati and his commission, although his time to exit has come, but we have said the commission is not performing. And even if this committee that has been established by the country to be able to bring in the next commission, even if the next IBC comes on board, by the end of election 2027, we'll say again it is not performing. Can we say kwaheri, formation of these independent electoral and boundaries commissions and focus on a system of government totally without elections, a public service system of government? Kenyans, listen to this. We don't elect the president of the judiciary. We vet and appoint the president of the judiciary. Moving forward, the president of the Republic of Kenya must not be elected, must be vetted and appointed. And we are working around the clock to ensure that this is constituted through our Constitution of the Republic of Kenya as public service governance. Therefore, we are bringing the Kenya Bila Uchaguzi bill. It is underway now. It is coming on board, I think, in the next 7 days it will be ready. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable Esther Oringa, for that detailed answer as well. And maybe we can try to share our time as well with, of course, Mr. Julius Umoja. Now, back to you, Mr.
Yes.
Julius Umoja. What is the best way moving forward? Do you have the Azimio coalition saying they are not interested in a handshake? And we have the government saying that they are looking for a handshake. And you have the both parties in very contradicting statements. What is, are we looking at a dialogue here, or what is the best way forward from where you sit?
Okay, thank you. What I think the way forward that we should be having as a country is that we should allow for dialogue. The dialogue should be between the executive and the opposition. Number two, we said, or I had proposed rather, and I'm still emphasizing on this proposal that had been done, that the office of the opposition should exist. And this office of the opposition should be given the mandate. And the office of the opposition leader should be answerable, or should be appearing in the parliament, the bicameral parliament, can appear in the National Assembly, he or she can appear in the Senate, so that each and everything that he or she needs or to answer or to question on the floor of the parliament, he can do so. So that the MPs, because all these problems revolve, those who have the responses are the MPs, only a few can be addressed in the executive. As well as the office of the opposition, having funds generated to it will make an official oversight authority or to the government. So that is a way for that, I think. And the next one, we should embrace the digitality of elections. This digitality of elections, one had been embraced in the last or the previous election, but we still think that it had some of the loopholes, which when tightened going forward, then it will be better. Because when we embrace digitality in the elections, like it is happening maybe in America and some other developed countries, it will give us free, fair, and credible elections. But the president, for example, if we go the way that my colleague Mheshimiwa is saying, of having a free or no elections in Kenya on the position of the president, I think if we go that direction, is when we will face a lot of challenges, because that one you will shun the democracy of each and every person in this Republic of Kenya. We work under democracy. We work under a state whereby we have the right to go and exercise, whereby we elect the leader of our choice. Now, when we don't have elections in the country, whereby we have a small panel, maybe if that panel will be voted for by each and every person in the Republic of Kenya to go and exercise the right on behalf of each and every Kenyan, then that can be a better way to go. But shunning the democracy of each and every person, not voting a president of their choice, then I think it has got some of the loopholes that need to be tightened.
And of course, I would suggest let us. Thank you so much. And I would suggest we don't move in the direction of talking whether or not to have elections in Kenya. And even that is a conversation that we ought to have another day. But my director is informing me that time is not on our side. Maybe starting from you, Honorable Esther Waringa, you can give us your parting shot even as we conclude the interview.
Okay, very well. My parting shot is that let us serve this country as one people, one united people of Kenya. We call upon His Excellency Raila Amolo Odinga and His Excellency Dr. William Samoei Ruto to know that the country is bigger than any individual in this country. The country is bigger than any political affiliation in this country. Let us humble ourselves. Let us approach this process with all soberness, with the integrity, with the focus and objectivity it deserves. Bottom line, or whatever will be done by the bipartisan committee or any other committee that will come on board must be in the best interest of the people of the Republic of Kenya. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, and of course for your answer as well. And of course the SMS line is 21144. GBS TV Africa in all our social media handles. To make sure to tell us what are your thoughts on the same. No handshake, Ruto says. Make sure to keep the SMSs coming in. 21144 is the SMS line. Now back to you, Mr. Julius Umoja, your parting shot.
Okay, what I can say that the state of the country, we are in a dangling state right now. I can ask for patience on the citizen side, and I can ask for a sober dialogue which are not directed by the political affiliations, or which are not directed by the political interest of those who will be sitting at the bipartisan or table. So I think with that we'll have a steady state.
Thank you so much, and for, of course, you two joining me to have this conversation tonight. A big thank you to both of you, and I do hope to see you having a conversation again that, of course, we did try to engage on whether or not to have elections. I do look forward to having such a conversation, and of course, that was Honorable Esther Waringa, PSG CEO, and you have Mr. Julius Umoja, who is a political commentator. You have heard from the experts. Keep your own comments coming in. The SMS line is 21144. GBS TV Africa in all our social media handles.